Thank you very much. You know, you're going to have a lot of PowerPoint today, so I'll spare you the PowerPoint. Let me just tell you a few things, and I want to save a few minutes so that we can get back on track by the time Andre Broda has to speak at 9:30. So CITRIS is a Center for Information Technology Research in the Interest of Society. It's one of the California institutes that was put together with then Governor Gray Davis's support in 2001. So it really thinks about information technology in the interest of society. The interests of society come first. Of course, the interests of society mean many things to many people. The four things that they mean to us are energy and the environment, what we can do with information technologies for energy and the environment. The second one is better delivery of health care. The third one is in terms of what you can do in terms of putting technology into our groaning infrastructures. And there's a lot one can do, and certainly the governor has launched this initiative for re-energizing our infrastructures. We think we could get a lot from putting new technology into them. So the fourth area, which is is what we call service sciences management and engineering, SSME, which is, you know, it's an acronym that's been popularized by IBM, and I know there's several IBM folks in the room. So what this refers to is the notion that really what we are doing currently with a lot of technologies is what makes them exciting is not so much the cool new technologies, but the services that you build on top of them. A key exemplar of these services is, of course, search. And one of the big reasons we're really thinking about this event is really to try to understand the nature of the evolution of this service that we are able to provide with new technologies. And, you know, of course, search is pervasive across all of the other things. Energy and the environment, it's pervasive across healthcare and so on and so forth. This event that we just talked about, the Digital Earth Symposium, Professor Clayton Radke, who's also involved with us, you know, he got exposed to this during, just after Katrina. So one of the things, his wife is a pharmacologist, I think, is the, you know, somebody that, so she was called upon to provide locations of different medical stores in the area around the Katrina disaster, and then he got thinking about what would it take to create such repositories, and how can you query them when there are natural disasters. And so Clayton has really been thinking a great deal about this, and sort of a culmination of that thought, which I think was really quite accelerated by Katrina, is this event called the International Symposium on Digital Earth, which will be here in Berkeley June 5th through 9th, and there are cards, so this is to replug what Masood said. Okay, so about this event. So it's no accident, by the way, that the format of this event is really, we in academia, we feel that we're just beginning to understand how we deliver these search services to people. So it makes sense for us in academia to listen to what our friends in industry are doing. And it is not an accident that this symposium is primarily structured around keynote talks by our friends and colleagues in industry to tell us sort of what the landscape is in industry. Industry is really, you know, it's often running. It's really doing a lot. When we sat down, there are tons of faculty on this campus who are interested in CITRIS, 4 campuses, it's Berkeley, Davis, Merced, and Santa Cruz, who are interested in search. But we thought that one of the most important things to think about today is really where industry is today, what industry thinks are the prospects. Now, let me say a few words about this nexus between industry and academia. You know, when technology is new and nascent, and when an industry is new and nascent, you know, it's very hard. It's a complicated balance to make between what's proprietary, and you have to have proprietary work. Industry needs proprietary work to make money, and that's an excellent goal in itself. It sort of builds shareholder value and all of that, and the needs of academia to have more or less open research without a lot of boundaries. So one of the things that I'd like us to explore in this, and there's 3 panels through the day. You know, there are a number of keynote speakers. I think the only academic keynote speaker is actually Marty right after lunch. But the point of the panels are actually to be participatory, in the sense that we've asked the speakers not to have very long presentations in spite of their protests. You know, so we've asked them seven minutes per speaker in the panel discussions, but to really discuss what we can do in a collaborative fashion while maintaining this balance between what is important for the firms, and I think that a large number of them are represented. Some of the key ones are represented. Certainly, I see Peter right here in front. I see Andre right behind him, and and many others. It's Amazon and so on and so forth. So I really would like us to try to understand how we can walk this line so that they can feel empowered to continue to do their proprietary work and make progress in the marketplace. Now, this is not, according to me, this is not insuperable. When the semiconductor industry got started, very much the same set of discussions about how the semiconductor companies could make money, but at the same time universities could do research. And it was also the case with the EDA, CAD, computer-aided design or electronic design automation for ICs. But it does require that, especially it does require that the academic community listen to industry about where they are. And believe me, from our own talks with industry, the state of industrial research in the area of search is really pretty advanced. So let's make sure that the academics don't kid themselves about where they think they are relative to industry research. And that's another reason that we wanted to be sure to give industry some airtime. The last reason I should say is, as a long-standing academic, the academics always think that sort of industry only loves you for your students rather than your minds, and maybe we'll find out if that's the case or otherwise. So that's a short introduction. Our co-sponsors for the event are Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, and I have to say that LBL is increasingly such a close partner on every single activity that happens. It's not a big surprise that, so Horst is one of the assistant directors for high-performance computing, and he'll tell you a little bit more about this. So Horst.